Sanduja today. Welcome on the Aryabhatta platform. Extremely happy with the students and our faculty members, Shivani Raheja and Monica Agrawal, organizing such good events for you all the time. And thank you all the office bearers who have worked hard to organize this. And I hope you have a very good Aman. My congratulations to all and all the best for the day. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manoj. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. And now, I, Marketing Head of Entrepreneurship Cell of Aryabhatta College, would like to cordially welcome you all to Business Unfiltered, the perfect place to help you realize your startup dreams and to enhance your business knowledge. Business Unfiltered is a YouTube series by the Entrepreneurship Cell where we have chat with industry experts who will not only share their experiences but in their respective field but also give us motivation to pursue our dreams. We are connected with a large audience on YouTube where this episode is being broadcasted live. I am delighted to welcome our teachers who have guided us throughout: Dr. Monica Garwal, our convener, Dr. Shivani Raheja, and Dr. Ruchi Sharma, our co-conveners. I would also like to extend my thanks to Principal Sir who have guided us throughout in all the four episodes, and without his guidance it wouldn't be possible. Now I hand over to Anshika to welcome our esteemed speaker of the day.
Thank you, Yaman. I, Anshika, an associate member of the Entrepreneurship Cell of Aryabhatta College, will be your host for the session. Today, we have with us Mr. Aman Sanduja, who is an entrepreneur and a technology leader. He is presently teaching blockchain and crypto on UpGrad in collaboration with IMT. He is also the co-founder of Moving and has worked as a technical accountant manager with Google. We welcome you, sir. It is a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure and looking forward to this discussion.
Okay, so now we will begin with the interview. Sir, what is blockchain and how is it different from traditional databases?
All right. So blockchains are the advanced version of databases. The primarily difference between a blockchain and database is the centralization and the decentralization. Databases are where all the records secured in a centralized manner, and in the blockchain all these records are secured in a decentralized manner and each participants have a copy of it. So the magic happens when there is an inconsistency. Each participants maintain a different copy of record. So your Excel sheet is a database which if an Excel sheet comes on blockchain, it becomes like everyone can see what's happening, everyone can add it, nobody can delete it, everyone has a transparency to see what's happening on the particular database. So the thin line difference is databases are centralized and where blockchains are 100% decentralized.
Okay, sir. So are there any types of blockchains?
Yeah, there are three types of blockchain. Usually there are four, not three. So in this, you come with public blockchain. The public blockchain is basically which is 100% decentralized, and you have a proof of work to validate the transactions. And these proof of work and proof of stake are the consensus mechanism. And the second is the private blockchain. This type of a blockchain is specifically used amongst the enterprise because enterprise do not want the transactions to be visible to the competitors. So Amazon would never want the transactions to be visible to Walmart or some other company. So there is a private blockchain, and the private blockchain is specifically a restrictive network where you have a closed network and one single entity controls the ownership of the blockchain, and it operates like advanced version of database, but all these transactions are synced in such a manner that everyone can see what's happening on the blockchain. So the advantage for this is the controlling organization. You can set the permission levels, you can have the authorization, you can have the accessibility. An organization can set up a private blockchain and can determine what all conditions you want to give it to particular nodes. So these nodes are the computers, which are also called as miners. And you can give certain read and write conditions to these nodes. And then it is a closed loop network, which is of private blockchain. Then second is a hybrid blockchain, which is a combination of public blockchain and a private blockchain. This is usually you have an access control, performance, scalability, which is there. Again, transparency can be seen. Now for hybrid blockchain, you may be considering what could be the use case. So hybrid blockchain, think of it as a use case where one of the hospital is managing a private blockchain, but if they're communicating with the national healthcare system, they could be on the public blockchain, because hospitals don't want their data to be revealed, but hospital also want their data to be shared with the public healthcare system. So that's a hybrid blockchain. So you have a public blockchain which is open, and the applications of public blockchain are cryptocurrency. You can also do document validation. You can do decentralized identity. You can do various other things. So Bitcoin is the first application of a public blockchain. Second was a private blockchain. Private blockchain could be a supply chain, could be used in supply chain asset ownership, basically within the organization, where organization controls who they want to give access right to particular node. Hybrid is a combination of public and private. Then you have a consortium. Consortium means a different banks or different set of companies or set of group of institutions forms a particular blockchain. So consortium blockchain, think of it like all the colleges in Delhi University forms a consortium blockchain. And with this consortium, if all the professor wants to come up with a question paper, they propose certain things, the consensus happens between different colleges. So you have a consortium, which means you have the transparency, but this is very much limited to a particular set of organizations. So it can be used in banking, research, supply chain, education. So consortium is like various group of institutions communicating on one common blockchain platform. And with this, if any new person wants to shift, let's take an example from Aryabhatta College, I wanted to take a admission into SRCC College, right? So all these transactions of my record ABC or my details are already there on the Aryabhatta College. So if I go and apply with SRC College, I don't really have to share the details again. They can fetch it from Aryabhatta College because there is a consortium blockchain, and they can see Aryabhatta College has validated these transactions, and then you can simply go and apply with SRCC College. Same happened with the banks as well. So let's take an example. You already have a bank account in ICICI Bank. Now you want to open an account in SBI Bank. Now SBI Bank would ask you to take your KYC, but if you go and open the account in 5 banks, you have to share your KYC again and again. Now imagine if these companies or these banks actually form a consortium blockchain, which means they actually sync in their operational work on a particular ledger, which is accessible by them, which is not open for anyone. But everyone can share, anyone can share the details on that consortium blockchain through a bank. And then banks can share the details with other bank if you're going to facilitate any other transaction. So these are 3-4 types of blockchain. And yes.
So is there any best one, or it depends on the situation that is taking place?
Particular use cases, there's no best or worst, right? So it's particularly the use cases. So like consortium blockchain tends to be more secure, scalable, efficient, public blockchain network, but it's operated in a closed system. And the disadvantage is it's less transparent than a public blockchain. So it depends on the use case. For an efficient transaction, you cannot use a public blockchain because the transaction will be validated by the miners, and these miners are spread across the world. And then if they would validate the transaction, it'll take some time. So in order to achieve the efficiency, you cannot use public blockchain. But if you start using private and consortium blockchain, there will be slightly difference of the transparency. All these things can be fixed because your hash can be put into public blockchain, and then it can become 100% tamper proof and all these things. So there is no best or worst. It totally depends on the use cases.
Okay, sir. Okay. So why do you think we need decentralized finance?
Why do we need decentralized finance? See, decentralized finance is a step towards a global open alternative to the current financial system. And so what happens in finance? Finance is nothing but borrow, save, trade, and more, right? So this is a step where you can achieve all these things in a little open manner, and then in a transparent manner. So DeFi is an open global financial system built in the internet age, an alternative to the system that is opaque, which means the existing system is opaque and tightly controlled by the organizations, which are banks, companies, trading brokerages, ABCXY. And these are decade-old infrastructure, and it gives you a control and visibility over your money, which means with the DeFi, you can have the control and a visibility over your money. And it gives you an exposure to global markets, an alternative to your local currency, and a banking product. So imagine a remittance. Right now, you do a remittance, you go to a bank and say, I want to transfer $100 to someone staying in the US. Now, with decentralized finance, you can directly do it. Your KYC is there. Your blockchain can facilitate the transaction. That person can receive it within 10 minutes. So DeFi is nothing but a collective term for financial products and services that are accessible to anyone who can use, these applications are usually built over Ethereum. And with DeFi, the markets becomes more open and there is no central authority. You can block the payments or deny, and then you get the full control and full visibility. And services that were previously slow and risky and had a lot of a human error now can be solved using a code which is easy to inspect and scrutinize. So I think it's a great step towards open financial ecosystem, because imagine there are a lot of places, there are a lot of countries where refugees live. They don't really have the bank account. With the mobile phone access, they can start receiving the goods and they can see complete transparency. If somebody's sending them $100, they are the one who are getting $100. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you contributed in Kerala Relief Fund or any of the funds? Disaster fund? You remember any disaster?
Not in money, but in kind, yes.
Great. So there are a lot of natural disasters and man-made disaster which has occurred. So people usually ask to contribute money. So how do you ensure that this money is actually reaching the last mile?
Yeah.
With the blockchain, it is possible. So of course, you trust the organization and you do that. But if you really wanted to see the end-to-end transactions and you have the complete control in terms of transparency and scrutiny, you can scrutinize, then blockchain is the answer. So this is nothing but a decentralized finance. And decentralized finance has different benefits, like some people aren't granted an access to set up a bank because some people don't really have a bank. In India, a lot of people start creating a bank after Jan Dhan Yojana, but still a lot of people are left out because of various reasons. Religion issue, do not really have a branch next to them, and then lack of access to financial services. And then usually financial services can block you, can hold your money for 3 to 5 days. Hidden charges happen. Then trading hours are, before Paytm, imagine if you have an emergency and you're staying out of your hometown, and if you want your parents to give you money before Paytm and all these apps, it used to take at least 1.5 days. Your father would go to a bank deposit or maybe transfer, and then you will get in 2 hours, and you want to take out the cash. So it's a hassle. So, and government and centralized institution can also close down certain market. We all know demonetization happened. Right, so money transfers can take slightly number of hours and human processes, but this can actually be weed out with decentralized finance.
Okay, that's great. So how do you think that budding entrepreneurs can make use of DeFi through cryptocurrency?
So first is, you need to understand what is DeFi. Like I was explaining, with DeFi, you hold your money. With traditional finance, your money is held by the companies. You control where your money goes and how it goes. So once you understand DeFi, then you start building the use cases on top of it. See, Bitcoin is a part of DeFi because ultimately it is contributing to some of the DeFi application. DeFi is nothing but decentralized finance. Finance is nothing but lend, borrow, invest, or save, correct? So you can send money across the globe. You can build applications. You can stream money around the globe. You can access some stable coins, which means they do not fluctuate and then they're not volatile. You build certain application to have borrow funds from collateral. You can borrow without the collateral. You can start using crypto tokens for saving. You can trade tokens. You can grow your portfolio. You can fund your ideas. So in college, if somebody is starting, let's take an example, Aryabhatta College. You guys can start a project and say that, hey, any project in DU, maybe we should be given a first preference where we can start investing in ideas. So imagine Aryabhatta College has about 200 students which are studying. 50 rupees spending in one idea of 200 students is how much? 10,000 rupees. Now imagine there are 10 colleges which are there, 1 lakh rupees. At least somebody can start the idea. So what you get ultimately the tokens of that startup, and then you can start doing it. So for somebody to start, I think there are basic applications which can be done. Imagine a locality. Imagine you live in Vasant Kunj, where are different 50 houses, 100 houses. Now each people contribute and say that we will be using this money to plant more trees in Vasant Kunj, to do this, to do that. So what happens with this case, you can actually see how much people have contributed, where this money is going. So various other applications can be built up without having the centralized institution in control. And then this gives the access to people to actually see what's happening with their money.
Okay. So what do you think about meme coins like Dogecoin? Should we invest our money in cryptocurrency, which is
This is not a financial advice, but meme is a good market, but meme coins are not, because you should only invest in something which you see it as a utility. If I would ask you to invest in oxygen air, which is available in, or forget about oxygen air. If I would say that invest in air, it's in Delhi, which is a lot of in abundance and all. Would you like to invest? So you would say that air is already available in abundance. It's always available to everyone at the free of cost. See, Dogecoins and all are speculative. They have been influenced by Elon Musk and all. But the only thing here is you clearly need to understand their utility out of it. But on the other hand, I think Dogecoin has been an incremental or instrumental in inviting people to cryptocurrencies, because a lot of people have seen Doge as a benchmark and start getting into cryptocurrency and start investing in some other coins as well. So I would not give any financial advice. Wherever you're investing, just do your research. If you go and buy the clothes, you do a trial, right? So if you go and invest your money, you need to learn about it. So before you invest your money in the market, invest in the learning of the cryptocurrencies.
That's a great advice, sir. So I want to ask one thing. What inspired you to start your own company?
What inspired me? Okay, great. So I never got an inspiration to start my own company as to start a company. I always had something in terms of a problem solving approach. So I always started businesses or companies where I can solve the problem of the people. And ultimately, these problems of the people also belongs to me as well. So like my first company was on the document and identity solutions on blockchain. We were facing the problem in terms of identity verification. You go to the hotels, you can take your fake ID, and sometimes these hotels give you the room. So they don't really have a mechanism to validate and verify your identity. Second was with the banks as well. It's taking a problem. Like I go to one bank, then I go and open the account with another bank. It's a hassle, right? Every time I have to do the verification. So second business was education, because in India, 1.5 lakh engineers graduate every year. It's about 6 lakh, or if I'm not wrong, 60 lakhs or 6 lakhs, something like that, 1.5 million or 60 lakhs, something like that. So these engineers graduate, they don't really have an understanding of emerging technologies and technology, because these are the things which are not taught in schools and colleges. Because our textbooks, I have not been updated from many, many years. And which is why these sessions are important. So I started that to actually bridge the gap. And right now what I'm doing at Moving is simply creating an experience for people so that they can get rid of complexity and noise in cryptocurrency, because I still feel there are a lot of complexity and noise in the market. And people who wanted to invest, they should get a quick platform to invest, and they can also invest along with friends as well. So that is what I am working at the moment. And all these ideas have been a problem solving motivation for me rather than just starting a business.
Great, sir. So is there any advice you would like to give to budding entrepreneurs?
Start early. I mean, fail fast, fail as many number of times. Don't be scared of the failures. You have to be resilient when you are starting up. You have to have a thick skin. And of course, keep learning, keep iterating, and then talk to the customers. You cannot just have an idea because you believe it's $1 billion idea. You need to validate it and test the waters with the customers. Who are you solving this problem for? What is this product? What will it do? And then if you have an answer like how would you make money? These are some of the things which are very basic. So once you even run it amongst 10 customers, 50 customers, 100 customers, right? And if they like what you're building, these 100 customers will bring 100,000 customers. These 100,000 customers will bring 1 million customers. So the only advice which I have for these entrepreneurs or the people who want to start, number one is do not just start a business just because it's sexy. So don't go by the people's advice that okay, entrepreneurship is sexy, startups are sexy. It will make me overnight billionaire. It will give me a lot of a PR. Friends will follow me. I will get Instagram followers, Twitter followers. It's all BS. So only do things which are really addressing towards a problem. And entrepreneurs are the ones who wants to make a difference in the society, not a difference in the bank balance. All these are the results of it. So you should solve a problem of the people, and once you have validated the problem with them, then I think you can start building the solution, and then I think it will be a great success.
That was some very insightful advice, sir. Thank you for it. Now we will be moving on to the perception round. I will read a few statements, and you are requested to give your opinion on whether you think the statement is a myth or a fact.
All right.
So the First
It could
one
be
is,
myth for somebody, it could be fact for somebody. Anyways, I'll just read it.
yeah. First one is blockchain technology isn't ready for business adoption.
It's a myth.
So can you please elaborate a bit?
Well, blockchain technology isn't ready for business adoption. I mean, it's a myth because it's ready and a lot of adoption which are already happening. I have personally deployed some of the solution with some enterprise. It's clearly a myth. Blockchain technology isn't ready for business adoption. Maybe businesses are not ready to adopt blockchain. That should be the fact. So blockchain technology is ready. Yeah, ready as in they're ready to get adopted by the businesses and vice versa as well, because the platforms have evolved. This question would have been valid if you would have been talking 2011 or 12. So it's 100% fact. It's happening. I mean, sorry, it's a myth, and blockchain technology business adoptions are happening already.
Okay, so second statement is cryptocurrency will never be able to function as traditional money.
I would not say it's a myth or fact. Depends on the lens or the optics which you are viewing from. Traditional money may or may not happen because the governments would not want to replace their dollars and rupees to accept. It may become another source of, another parallel currency. By the way, there's a difference between a currency and money. I'm just giving you a heads up on it, so just look at it. So may become another currency, may or may not become a traditional money, because there are challenges. One is for public blockchain, the transaction speed is less. Second is, in a country called India, there are over 1.35 billion people, and then 21 million bitcoins are there. Of course, they are divisible up to 10 to the power 8 decimal places. But I think the government would never want to do that, because the dollars and rupees and other currency have been existing from many, many years. But it can become another parallel form of a currency which people can start using. Now, you can never say that dosa or pizza will become the traditional food of India, right? These are the cuisines which will exist in parallel. So somebody will eat South Indian, North Indian, Mexican, Italian, Chinese. Different cuisines have their different recipes, different taste, and similarly, the cryptocurrencies have their different usability. Maybe the millennials would want to use cryptocurrency more. Maybe the parents or boomers or some people in the 50s wanted to use traditional finance model. So it totally depends, and it will never replace. So according to me, the answer should be cryptocurrency will never, possibly a myth or fact. I would just stretch between both.
Okay, sir. The third statement, one can become successful without a supportive mentor.
Well, the success actually depends. I mean, everything is inside you, right? So you require a mentor, because if you're going on a wrong direction, the mentor should bring you back and then gives you an advice which is neutral. So think of, if I just reiterate this question, you can reach the destination without using a Google map as well, correct? So treat Google map as a mentor. So of course, it'll be little here and there, but these mentors actually help. So the answer would be, again, it's a dichotomy between myth and fact. So for me, a lot of mentors comes in, a lot of mentor have been a part of my both emotional, mental, and different other things, because startups are not easy, right? You have to have a stress. You have to have a courage to deal with the stress every day. So the stress is healthy. And if you see that stress is degrading you, that is something which is a problem, wherein the mentor can play a role.
Okay, sir. So now we will be moving on to the scenarios round. In this, I will present you with a few hypothetical questions, and you have to honestly answer what would you do if you face such a situation.
Sure.
The first one is, what will be that one change you would like to bring into the world if you could?
World or India?
So world, whatever suits you.
A world without boundaries.
Could you elaborate a bit for our viewers?
All these countries usually have the boundaries, right? We are fighting for our rights and all. We all are humans. We all are born to be a part of the earth. So a world where everyone can just live, travel, exchange, collaborate, do different things. There's one common language which is accepted. The world is without the boundaries. So you would not be proud of saying, I'm from India, I'm from some other country. where you will be proud of saying that I'm from the world. So that is the only thing. And I'm sure I can just make aspirational dreaming comment, right?
Okay, so the second statement is, if you had the chance to start over your career, what would you do differently?
Start over my career, would not go to engineering college, would start right from there.
Okay.
I think I would not go to engineering college. Engineering was good, but I think if I would know seeing the future and I wanted to go back to the past, I think I'll just start all over again in terms of doing some work with some entrepreneurs who have failed, entrepreneurs who have succeeded, people who have built, people who have both have profile and positioning, people who have seen the hardship. And I think this is a real learning. This will be the real learning for me rather than just going to colleges. I mean, this is not something which you should take it for yourself since you're already enrolled. So this is just for my personal opinion. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And what would you do if one day you woke up and the entire stock market had crashed?
What would I do if the stock market has crashed? I would see, crash is a best opportunity to invest, right? So crash is not something to be taken as what you call a moment of stress or a moment of something which you should say, no, my God, market has crashed. Imagine 2008, right? Financial crisis. And from there till today, imagine COVID when the market crashed last year, right? From there, the market has doubled in less than 1 year. See, the market is always on the uprise. Why? Because people are consuming products, and these products are being produced by the companies. The population is growing, the GDP is growing. We are moving towards a $5 trillion economy. So people will accept. I mean, you will not stop using a telecom connection. You will not stop using certain utility items. So the market will go up. So crash is an opportunity. If I would have no money, I will start working to make money and start invest. If I have money, then I will invest simply. And there is a saying called a dollar cost averaging, which means you invest not all your money in one go. You invest periodically. So even if the price appreciates, you invest at the appreciated price. If the price has decreased, then you invest at the downside. So I mean, for me, it will be just another opportunity to invest.
Okay, sir. That was some great, insightful answers you gave. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and enlightening us with your wisdom. We are really grateful for your time and effort to share such valuable experiences with us. Now, I would like to hand over to Yaman, the marketing head of ESL, to conclude our session.
With, with this episode, we mark the end of our series, Business Unfiltered. It was great pleasure to host such wonderful entrepreneurs across different industries. The new session is about to begin, and we have many more interesting sessions and activities on the way. So stay connected to us to our social media handles for much more insightful sessions. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.